First thing is first, there is an unofficial day 12 video of the series. It's not about the bike trip, but it takes place near Maastricht in Limburg, and it will be live on my Patreon for free tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. It will be live on my Patreon for free. You don't have to pay for it. It will be on YouTube, but probably not for a week to 3 weeks, depending on what of the videos I'm working on. So if you're curious, go check that out. And I'm just going to type in here, go to the live Q&A. By the way, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and type them in there. I will get to them sooner than later. Let me pin this guy. So yeah, this has been great. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an incredible ride. I can't believe it's a lot of people who've been watching the series thought that I was editing the videos as I was traveling, which would have been insane. I don't know if that'd be possible. Maybe if you did like week by week, if I stayed there for several months, it would have been possible. But I don't think people realize how much time it takes to actually produce these videos. It's a lot of work. In fact, I did the YouTube thing. I always used to hear stories about YouTubers who would who would end up staying up all night editing a video. Well, the day 5 lessons from the Dutch that I did with Roy, which was a sponsored video by the company he works for, I told them it would be ready Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I literally stayed up all night. At 6 a.m., it was finished and ready to go. And I went to bed for an hour, came back for the premiere, and then went back to bed. I did the thing. I don't want to do it again, ever again, but I did it. I can say I did that thing. Anyway, this is the end. We did it. And you know what I have here, guys? Instead of opening up a bottle of champagne, I have the stroopwafels from Gouda, Camphausen, and I'm not gonna eat them on stream. In fact, um, I ordered 2 cases of this, and I thought it was gonna take a long time to get here. It took 2 days from Gouda to Vancouver, Canada. So I gave most of them away. This is actually the last one, and it was in my freezer. They came like 2 weeks ago. So, I'm sad that they're gonna be gone, but I just need to smell them one last time. And this is my champagne for the end. Um, so Smoothliest says, "You inspired me to take a bicycle and cycle again. I'm Dutch, but haven't cycled in years." Thanks a lot, Nick. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll take a look through there. I put up a post yesterday asking for anybody to post any questions if they had some. And again, I have to say there's a bunch more people in here. If you want to watch, there's an unofficial day 12 of the trip. It's a short video. It's not on a bike, but it happened within my Europe trip. It was the next day in Limburg. It's a short video. It will be live within 24 hours on my Patreon for free. It will be available for free. If you don't want to go there, it'll be on my YouTube channel in a few weeks. So you don't have to go to Patreon, but you can subscribe for free. If you want to hand me a few shekels, that would be great. It helps me plan and afford new trips in the future. So go check that out on my Patreon. But just let me get to the post here. I'm going to go through some of these questions because there was actually some really great questions and some topics that I didn't get into on the series that I think would be really fun to dig in, because it's endless. Like every video I made, there was always stuff left on the floor, and I will be making a deleted scenes for my Patreon exclusive. But there is so many topics that you can't get to. It just takes so long to actually produce so many of these videos. So trying to get it under 20 minutes is a struggle. Getting it to 15 minutes was like, okay, I trimmed enough fat off of it to get it to be like a nice concise video. Let's see what we got here for posts. Again, I have to say thank you for watching. I can't believe the response to this trip and last year's trip. It blew me away. Every time I posted a video, I was like, oh, nobody's gonna watch this one. And then I wake up the next morning and like 20,000 people have watched it and left hundreds of comments. It's mind blowing. So I really, really do appreciate it. But I'm going to go through some of these questions here from the oldest. This one is from Norco BF. I don't know if that's how you say that. Anyway, that's how I'm saying it. So as a Canadian from the GTA, that's the Greater Toronto area, currently cycling across the Netherlands. We are on the bike bus today, the Fietsbus across the Afsluitdijk. And we are on our 4th cycling trip in the country in 3 years, with the 5th trip scheduled in 2026. I think this guy needs to be the one who's making the videos. He seems like the expert. One question now: did Canada, all of North America, or sorry, did Canada how did now okay, now did Canada and all of North America fall so far behind? What will it take to turn our ship around in Canada? Today we rode into our 12th province in the Netherlands as a cycle tourist. That's rad. I hope you're still enjoying your trip. What can we do in North America? Is just talk about it and talk about it honestly and try to share the experiences. I think that's what I really tried to do, is kind of marry the tourism aspect with the actual urbanism that is in the Netherlands, and just to highlight how much fun and how welcoming it is to get on a bike in the Netherlands. And I've talked about this in the past, is I'm not like a cycle touring person. I don't go on long bike trips. Like if I go on a long bike trip here in Canada, it's a 50-kilometer round trip to Steveston, which is like the next town over, which has relatively safe infrastructure to get there. Um, so that's how inviting it is. I'm not some crazy cyclist or anything, but be an advocate. Advocate in your local community. That's the best place you can make change. And be honest and and listen to people's complaints, because people have legitimate worries when you say we're going to take away car lanes or parking. People get freaked out. It's their livelihood, and you have to understand that fact. But just try to share it with them and take somebody on a ride once in a while. I think that can really open people's eyes. All right, we got another question here. This is from Marion Outiers 4786. Which province would you revisit first to see more of by bike? Ooh, great question. Probably Overijssel, because I didn't get to go to Zwolle, and I really wanted to go there, but the Peter Pad pulled me east. So probably Zwolle, well, Overijssel, and I would like to go to see Zwolle. This is from Snow Show Slow. Which province surprised you the most, and where would you send off an off the beaten path cyclist tourist? I was surprised by Gelderland, and I shouldn't have been, because of how many people actually recommended it to me. So many people were like, "Go to Postbank, go to the Hoog Veluwe." So I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be great." It was amazing. Um, I don't know if that's off the beaten path necessarily, but maybe off the beaten path, I would send to Drenthe and be like, "Go follow the Hunebedden path," because that was really cool. And I wish I had seen more of the Hunebedden. I think I visited like 5 of them, maybe 6. I only think I caught a few of them on camera, but probably send them to Drenthe, because I feel like that's not a place people think of going. Like people might just skip over it and go straight to Groningen. But that was a really cool experience. This is from a name that I cannot pronounce. I'm sorry. Ukrytykyk. Have you reached out yourself to the people who guided you in different cities, or have they reached out to you? So yeah, there was only three people I met up with. First was Mark, aka Bicycle Dutch, in day 4 in Den Bosch, and I reached out to him. He had commented on some of my videos of my last series, so I knew he's watching some of my videos. So I just sent him an email, and he was like, "Yeah, let's set it up," and we made that work. Um, and that was so much fun. I'm so happy about that. I'm going to be releasing an extended cut of that at some point once I have the time to do it. So stay tuned for that. Roy and I were actually friends, so he watched my last series, and his book inspired my first trip. And he lives in Burnaby, which is the neighboring city to Vancouver. So we meet up pretty often, actually, to have a few drinks, talk about cycling infrastructure. We were on the island just a couple weeks ago and filmed 2 videos, one in Nanaimo and one in Victoria, which are upcoming next month. And we just happened to be in the Netherlands at the same time. So he was gracious enough to come from Schiedam, I think, or Schiedam, near Rotterdam, to trained over to Eindhoven for the day, or for the morning at least, to do that ride. And then Cor Vanderklau and Groningen. I am a big fan of street films with Clarence Eckerson Jr. Great documentaries about infrastructure across the world. Like Bicycle Dutch hones in mostly. He goes to other places as well, but mostly on the Netherlands, obviously. But Clarence goes everywhere and explores the world, and he had a video he posted about 10 years ago about Groningen, and Core was one of the people he interviewed, and I just loved his tone and his approach and the things he said in that video. So I just went to LinkedIn, found him, sent him a message, and he was like, "Yeah, come on down." So I'm very grateful for all the people I reached out to. Nobody said no. Nobody didn't answer. So that was really cool, and I really appreciate that. And I hope that I thanked them enough in the videos, and I gave them the credit at the end of the last video. Who else we got here? Blackout Productions. After having seen more rural, non-Randstad parts of the country, have your views on the Netherlands or the Dutch changed? If so, what has changed and why? Also, do you intend to come back to these parts of the country? Yeah, definitely my perspective has changed. I feel like I've built a bigger mental map of the Netherlands because I've been somewhat around the country. Um, and I think I kind of addressed it at the end a little bit. Going to Amsterdam is so different than the rest of the country. And I know each other province and each other city has its own character, but it feels like Amsterdam is its own thing, and all of the other cities are more similar than Amsterdam is different than them. And that's something that needs to be appreciated. Like if you send someone to the Netherlands, be like, go to Amsterdam, check it out, but like take the train to Utrecht maybe for a day. Just see it. It's different. It's a different experience. Um, and if I would go back again, I think I feel like I missed Overijssel, and a bit of Drenthe. Drenthe was the only province I didn't stay the night in. So I would like to go back to those areas and explore more. I have a bunch of stuff saved on a map that's in that area, star forts and things like that, that I would definitely go back and see. This one's from Draken Vlieg. Do you ever Google how to pronounce certain places' names, or do you just wing it as you went? Is that why you pronounce snake as snack or snack, as I was saying it, when it's far closer to snake, SNEEK? Yes. So I often do, and I would often try and practice for at least a few minutes and feel like I got it right. And then as soon as I hit the record button to do the voiceover, out of my brain half the time, just disappeared. So that's usually what would happen. I apologize for that. Um, but I hope I got some of it right. In the last one, I really tried to get Zanzischans. I probably recorded it 20 times to see. I don't know if I got it right still. Oh, thank you. The Daily Freedom says, here's €5 in the amount I didn't pay for the tram this morning in Utrecht because it was broken. Well, thank you for passing that on to me. Oh, and Bicycle Dutch says Zanzischans was perfect. Thank you. Urban America says your two Netherlands series have been fantastic. Would you ever consider doing a similar bike trip to a different part of Europe or the world? Yes, absolutely. So part of that Europe trip, I visited my friends in Germany afterwards. That's why I kind of headed down to Limburg and to Germany. And one video will be coming out from Germany. It was actually on my birthday, and my friend, he was working that day, so I borrowed his dad's honking e-bike and did a 120-kilometer ride along the Eiffel, and it was beautiful. I'm really excited to produce that video. It's gonna be a lot of fun to revisit that journey. So that's one. But in the chat, if you could please answer this: where do you think Nick would do a bike trip in the world? I want to see if anybody actually might know me in any capacity. Anybody at all? Please guess. Where would Nick go to take a bike trip in the world outside of Europe? We'll see how quickly this answer. I'm gonna leave that for just a moment. Uh, this is from Did Chemo. I would love to see a video about the logistics of the trip, how you planned it out, how much it cost, how cleaning, backpacking was done, etc. I've been thinking about doing a similar trip to yours, and any advice would be much appreciated. Yes, this is one of the videos I have like a maybe I will produce. I probably will, about my trips. I'm not like a big, like I said earlier, I'm not a big bike packer. I haven't done a lot of cycle packing at all. I I don't do cycle camping. I basically try to bring as little as possible. And when you're trying to film a trip, it makes it really hard because you need all this camera gear. And most of my stuff is really small, but the biggest thing is actually my laptop. And it's like a gaming laptop because I can edit videos on it. And it comes with a giant honking power supply, like a 300-watt honking power supply. So basically, my tip is just pack as light as possible You will find places to wash your clothes, even that if that means washing your underwear in the sink one night, so you can last another day until you can find some laundry service or something. Most of my places had some kind of laundry, especially the Airbnbs and stuff. Anyway, I will get to that at some point. So back to the Urban Americas question: where would I go in the world? Some answers here. So Daily Freedom says the Black Forest. Zegayar says Denmark. Urban Americas, who asked the question, says France. If you've been keeping up your French, yeah, I try to keep up my French just because I was in French immersion as a kid. I feel like a failure that I can barely speak it anymore. Nope, nope, not yet. Who else we got in here? Oh, we have the right answers. Yes, we do. Somebody said Norway. Tuckus World said Denmark. Just go for a trip in Canada. Yes, I have, and I have a filmed video before I actually did this trip in the Netherlands. I went to one of the islands and did a bike trip, which I may or may not even produce. We'll see. But here's Smoothlius and Timon have the answer. It's Japan. Yeah. I've been to Japan a few times. My wife and I went for part of our honeymoon to Japan, and originally we were going to do a bike trip for a few days in Shikoku, which is kind of near Osaka. Just there's an island off of there. That's definitely the country I would love to do a bike trip through. Would I produce a video series? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I'm a big fan of Broad in Japan. Chris Broad, huge YouTube channel. He's been living in Japan for a long time. He did, I think, maybe 2 bike trips across Japan. Maybe, one of them was like 28 videos. And when he first made it, he tried to edit each video in the evening, and he thought he could do that. And obviously that didn't work out. That's way too much work. But he doesn't focus on infrastructure. It's all culture. It's comedy. It's fun. It's silly. He does fantastic videos. Big fan of Chris Broad. But Japan, yeah, definitely. I want to go to Japan. It's relatively safe when it comes to the Western world. It's not as safe as the Netherlands, the streets, but it's a lot safer than North America. So that's where I would go. Yeah. What else do we got in here? Felix Midland, 8215. How did you plan your route? Okay. There is a video. It's free to watch on my Patreon. It's from February, and it was me waffling and just trying to plan it out. And a lot of it came from my last series. I put a top comment on every video, and I put up a post on Blue Sky to just ask people where are places I need to visit. And I got hundreds of comments. And as I collected those, I just put pins on my Google Maps. And I just was like, okay, well, these are different places I want to go to along the maps, and it almost just was like a connect the dots. And a lot of it came from my own learnings of reading a lot of books about urbanism, like How to Build a Bicycle City, which is from Chris and Melissa Bruntlett. Chris works for the Dutch Cycling Embassy, and they have a chapter about Groningen. And Groningen always interests me, especially the story about the traffic circulation plan. That's why I made a video on it. But mainly it came from people commenting and giving me tips on where to go. And I've continued to upkeep that map. People are continually telling me about different places to go, and I always miss something. There's always something I miss in every city I visit. It's just not possible to see it all. So you can watch that video. It's on my Patreon for free. I think it's like February. You might have to scroll back a while. It's like a 20-minute of me rambling, looking at Google Maps and kind of telling you what's what if you want to go see that. This is from Cornette Ju. Oh man, it's got some crazy screen names. I love it. I've enjoyed your videos a lot. Watching along to see my own country in a way I've never done before, and love the bits of humor you implement. Sound editing, videography, it's all greatly done. First question: what are your future plans on making these kinds or similar videos? I'm continuing to make these videos. My main purpose really is advocacy. I want to help make my city safer, as the Netherlands have done over the past several decades, and try to inspire people locally and abroad to do the same. So I will be making more local videos that are specific to Canada and Vancouver, where I live. But I continually like the idea of merging the things I love, which is traveling, exploring, and urbanism. So I'm hoping to continue that trend throughout the world. By the way, there's at least 4, maybe 5 videos coming from the Netherlands trip still that are just standalone videos that will be coming out. So like the Gazelle Factory tour, I've mentioned before, I'm gonna mention it again. It'll be on my Patreon for free within 24 hours, unofficial day 12 in Limburg. It will be there. It'll be on YouTube later, but if you wanna watch it early, it'll be available within 24 hours. Um, what's the next question here? Second, what type of constructive feedback would you give the Netherlands? Oh, I don't know. I've been asked this before. Roy Simons, who was in the day 5 lessons from the Dutch video, talked about this. And he got asked this once, and I watched him squirm. He's like, I don't know. Everything they do is pretty good. They iterate. Um, maybe, okay, one, I think they're addressing, which is the motorbikes. I didn't talk about them in my videos. And at the very end of the last video, you hear a motorbike screaming by as I say my last words. I don't know how many takes I had where a motorbike just ruined it because it's so loud and stinky. But the Netherlands are addressing them. I think they're not allowed to be sold in Amsterdam anymore. Is that right? Are they soon? They won't be. Um, but uh, I don't know. Maybe it's gone too heavy on bikes in some places. My cat's doing something back there. Maybe you can see her. She's getting restless. Uh, the mopeds, yeah, motorbikes, mopeds, Bromfeets, Snorfeets, loud and stinky. I don't like them. They're very rare here in Canada. Would I take them over all the cars? Yeah, probably. Um, but I think they're not allowed to sell the gas ones anymore in Amsterdam. Is that right? Maybe you can let me. Yeah, only electric in the next few years. Um, so that's I don't know. But oh, sorry, what I was saying, a bicycle heavy, too bicycle heavy. When I was in Leeuwarden, I didn't talk about this. There was 2 times where I was crossing a feet strat, and like the first time an old man came around the corner, I was already in the street, so crossing the street, and he started yelling at me to get out of his way. I'm just like, bro, just walking across the street. I had that happen twice. Leeuwarden. I thought it was strange, and I've heard this that people think the Netherlands has become too bicycle centric, which I can see is fair in some places. You go down, there's a nice clear bike path, and then the sidewalk is just a free for all where people, delivery trucks will park their cars. There'll be sandwich boards and things blocking the way that makes it harder to walk and roll. You've seen this too with like mobility scooters, mobility chairs in city centers where it's cobbled, watching them like rattle along the cobble. Maybe things like that make it more friendly to people rolling who have disabilities and things like that. Oh, the people, the super, what is it? Super Apple Flap. I like that name. Oh, the old people on e-bikes are a public menace. Oh, that's funny. Oh, thank you for the tip. The daily freedom to your, what is your favorite Dutch food you tried? I don't even know if, oh boy. Honestly, I don't even know if this is counts as Dutch, but kaas soufflé, cheese soufflé. I could eat like 20 of those, just smash them. I love them. The kaas broodjes. Yeah, that's like, oh yeah, give it to me, please. And there's one more question. What part of your trip did you enjoy the most? Ah, probably the Hoogveleva. Probably the Hoogveleva. I just felt at peace. It was just so lovely. Like in standing in the middle there, I know like the tall grass taking over the heathlands, but just sitting there, I just got to relax. And there was a part, I think it was part day 2, I didn't keep in any of the videos. I almost added it to this last one. Was I was talking to the camera and just being like, when I'm on these trips, I'm so focused on getting the shots, capturing the world as what I'm seeing, that I'm blocking what I'm seeing. You know, there's a thing in front of my face, I'm viewing it through. And that sometimes I just need to stop and look around. And I felt like in the Hoogveleva, that was the one time I really stopped to look around. I got some shots and everything, but I just sat there for probably half an hour and just took some breaths and just took it in. And it was like, it was holy or something. I think that was why it was my favorite. The cat does show up on live streams pretty often. She can, the other one's in the back. This is Isabel, Izzy. She's a bugger. She's a little rascal. She usually sits on my desk while I'm editing videos. So if you've watched my videos, more than likely, she was sitting there for the vast majority of the production. Everything. She just lays here, has naps. She's a good cat. Maggie, she doesn't sit up here anymore. She's tired of me. She's more interested in her mom. Yeah, Mark is in the chat. Bicycle Dash says, "You were certainly in work mode when we met." Yeah, and you can tell, like, I'm gonna release an extended cut. It's gonna be much longer. It's not gonna be the whole thing raw because a lot of the times I'm trying to focus on what I'm seeing. Mark's talking, I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm not, like, chatting actively with him, and that's a problem I need to figure out. I'm sorry for that. Uh, yeah, I've got one more here. This is from Dan Dan Doe. You said you don't really have a question, but I just want to say I appreciate these videos. I see parts of my own country I'm not familiar with or haven't visited it in years, and it makes me want to be a tourist in my own country. It's easy to become used to your surroundings, so hearing and seeing my country from a foreigner's perspective makes me appreciate it more. Yes, this is totally true, and I feel this here in Vancouver. Vancouver's a big tourist hotspot, and I don't see it often until people show up and they're like, "Where should we go?" It's like, "I don't even know. Let's go explore." Totally. That's totally true. And I'm happy that I did that for some people. That's incredible. I really, really appreciate it. Yes, Piotr says, "Work mode or not, it paid off in amazing videos. Great work. Thank you so much." Yeah, it was honestly, it's like it's so much work. Like it's crazy. Like yesterday, I was just trying so hard to get this video done. Saturday, I spent most of my Saturday sitting in this room, just editing this video, finding the best clips I could find of all my treasure trove. And then we went to a concert. We went to see Haim last night in Vancouver. And then I came home because I hadn't had the thumbnails done yet. So I was staying up till 1 o'clock last night, like, gotta make sure these thumbnails are ready. Everything's ready and good to go. So thank you so much. Um, oh, Dan Dando actually has a question. I'm gonna go through some of these live chat questions in just a moment here. I did actually think of a question while writing this. Has your experience in the Netherlands, both visits, changed how you live in Canada? Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely changed my perspective on what is possible and thus has changed my approach to advocacy and the way I talk about making the streets safer. You know, it used to be about, oh, we need bike lanes here because of data. And those are the changes that make things safer. But I've kind of coming to the approach of experience instead and trying to show and tell people what it's like to actually just live in a safer place. Just walk on a street that's safer and how that feels with a family. I mean, what I can imagine with a family. I don't have a family yet, but I have cats. I've got a cat family. But trying to go from that angle, I think cuts to people much deeper and closer to home, and they can, they're more amenable to going down that route if you show them the experience. And again, that's what I try to do in these videos. So yeah, let me see if we got any questions in this live chat. Again, thanks for showing up. This is awesome. Um, Here we go. Rob S. Hi, Nick. Enjoyed your videos. How many kilometers did you do in total? So I didn't track it actively. I went back and used Google My Maps, which is very iffy. But in total, I think it was like from Google My Maps, I rode 720, it said. It was probably more though, because I don't think that's super accurate. It's kind of like, it's not like very granular. It's more big blocks. So anything small detours you do turning around and stuff, it doesn't really catch that. So I'm thinking it's between 700 and 800 on a bike. A lot of it would have been over probably 1,000 if I didn't take transit, like the bike bus. I didn't take the trains that I did, I think 3 times. It would have been over 1,000, but it was enough. It was enough. Many of the days my legs were absolute beat. And that's the thing I didn't mention in this last video about e-bikes. Like, you tell me I didn't get exercise, bro, I was beat. And my butt was still tired from sitting in that saddle for as many hours as I did. Yeah. What do you guys here? Oh, okay. From Humanius. Where were you in the Netherlands? When were you in the Netherlands? It looked like late spring, early summer. Yeah, it was, I think I got there around May 22nd or something to May 21st. Yeah, to June 2nd, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was right at the late spring, early summer, which it was good enough weather. I think I got a good mix of rain, wind, cold, and sunny days. I got burnt really bad. I showed like the burn that was on my arm in one of the videos when I was going from Groningen to Leeuwarden. I got a pretty bad sunburn on my arms, but I was wearing a hat like this. It was the gazelle hat, which is in here somewhere, and this part of my head was so burnt. I was like for 2 days, I was, like, in Maastricht. I was like, "What the heck is wrong with my head? It hurts so bad." And then I realized it was the hole in my hat. It burnt my back of my head so bad. Yeah. So, put the lotion on the skin, guys. I learned my lesson, I think. Okay, we got one from EJB3. I'm planning on doing a bike tour across the Netherlands next month. Did you pack everything in your panniers? And how did you keep your phone charged during rides? Yes, everything in my panniers. One was basically filled with all my camera gear, my laptop, and then my other one just had basically 5 days worth of clothes that I washed a couple times, and that was everything. I'm This is like glamping, like this is fancy traveling. I stayed in hotels or like homestays, Airbnb type things. So I'm not camping. If you're camping, you need a whole bunch of other stuff. You need like 4 bags or something. It's crazy. I don't do that necessarily. But keeping your phone charged, I brought a spare battery pack. It could probably charge my phone twice, but I've got one of these stupid giant phones that Samsung that lasts like many, many, many hours. I never run out in a day. It's not a problem for me. Not at all. History and Leisure says, other than that slip up, I got back to my hosts. What is this? Are you just talking? You just talking about stuff? Thumbnails? And again, went to bed. Oh, sorry. Is it called Schiedam? Schiedam? We're talking about that near Rotterdam. Somebody wants to see more of my cats. They'll be around at some point, I'm sure. But if you have any more questions, please go ahead and put them here in the chat. I'll answer them right now. We got a question here from Evo likes Lisha. Not sure. Why didn't your wife join you on the Netherlands trip? Her vacation was at a different time than mine, and it just didn't work out. And this was primarily a work trip. It was a lot of work. Like it was fun, obviously, but traveling around for almost 2 weeks, filming everything, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Every drone shot, that's that when you see a drone shot, that's Nick stopping for half an hour playing with a drone trying to get good shots. You see 5 seconds of a drone shot. Nick has 10 minutes of drone shots in that one stop to get one really good shot, or at least try to. Or you see Nick come up to a camera. That's Nick putting down a camera, riding away and coming back to pick up the camera type of stuff, right? It's a lot. It's fun. It is fun, but it is a lot of work. Uh, so it's not fun to go along with somebody. So my wife and I did our honeymoon in Japan and Thailand. This was like 2 years ago, and I said to my wife, "I would like to make 2 videos. That's it through this trip. If you don't mind, I'll capture some things." And I tried to do it as little as possible, but when I saw an opportunity, I took it. And she was super graceful about it, and I'm like so happy. Like I love my wife so much. She's so sweet. But yeah, like it sucks when you're with somebody and they have to stop to like film anything they see. It's super annoying. So that wouldn't be super fun. I would love to do a trip with her in the Netherlands. Like we've been to the Netherlands twice together already. We At the end of my last trip, we met up in Germany and then we went back to the Netherlands. We spent like 4 nights in the Netherlands in Amsterdam and in near Middelburg in Zeeland. So she would love to do a trip like that because she's one of those people who does like crazy hiking, camping, and she's always doing active stuff like that. And she would be into doing a bike camping trip, like actual bike packing. I'm not really into that. She would do that, but she would love to do a bike trip like that. But we're expecting a kid in the next few months. So if we do it again, it's gonna be with a kid. We might have to rent a Bachfiets maybe in the next few years if we do it as a family, which I think would be so cool. That'd be like that's my dream, my dad dream, my future dad dream. Uh, do you miss the Frikandel Bruja? Yes. Yes, I do. I've looked for not even just Dutch bakeries here in Vancouver, but just like a good, solid, homey bakery, and they're very rare. And Frikandel Bridge I've never seen. No, not in Canada. I would love that. Yes, I do miss it. I miss that in the Cas Bridge. Absolutely. I wish I could find that here. It'd be so good. Oh man. Let's see if we have any more here. Everybody loves the cats, and I appreciate it. Yeah. I love the cats too. By the way, I'm just gonna mention it one more time. If you wanna see the unofficial day 12, it is going to be Sorry, it's to be within on my Patreon within 24 hours. You can go subscribe for free. You do not have to pay. You can join for free on my Patreon. It'll be for free in the next 24 hours. The unofficial day 12 in Limburg. Just have to say it one more time. Oh, thank you for the tip, Daily Freedom. Were you worried not to lose any footage? Yes. My typical way about doing this is that's why I bring the laptop. At the end of every day, I upload everything that I took during the day onto my computer into folders, which is connected to Google Drive. And so while I sleep, it uploads, and usually by the morning, it's all uploaded. So if everything was stolen, everything was gone, I would still have all the footage I had taken up to that point. I've never had to use it, but it's always good to have a backup. And that's how I've kind of kept my footage safe. So I haven't lost anything yet. I can't. Okay. Bicycle Dutch says, I feel I should try Frickin' Bridge with you and not just bikes going on about it. I can't believe you haven't tried it. That's a lie. There's no way. I thought like once you're 1 years old, that's the first food they give you in the Netherlands. That's like right? Oh man. Yeah, if you have any more questions, yeah, throw them in the chat for sure. I might have missed some. I apologize. It's a wall of text at this point. AJ says, are you planning to come back to the Netherlands again? And where would you go next? Yeah, I absolutely will. I'm going to come back to the Netherlands at some point, for sure. Is it going to be like next year? I'm doing part 3 bike trip. I don't think so. It'll probably look different. And what I would like to do is approach it with more poignant, specific videos around the country. Probably. One idea I have that I would absolutely love doing. I would love it. And this is like, hey, if you want to help me make this happen, go to my Patreon and help me, like, give me some money because it would be expensive. I want to bring my dad to the Netherlands and make one big video, like half hour to an hour. I brought my car brain dad to the Netherlands. That's like my dream. I love my dad, but he lives in Windsor, across the border from Detroit, like the heart, the beating heart of the car industry, or what used to be at least. He works for a company that makes car parts. He's very right wing. He loves Donald Trump for some bloody reason. Um, but he's willing to talk and listen. And I would just love to bring my dad to the Netherlands and make a giant video, like just for like a few days. We'll travel around, we'll drive a car, we'll walk, we'll bike. I just want to see his reaction and see what I could get out of him. See if I could turn him. See if he'll take the orange pill. That would be so much fun. But yeah, if I do come back, I'm going to be doing standalone videos. Probably I would like to do, because it's so much work doing these videos, man, especially the ride alongs, because you're sifting through a couple hours of a ride, picking out what you think are the best parts, and building a video around those. But just doing a specific video, you could like make the whole video, go there, film it on scene, just talking to the camera, and then edit it so quickly and easily. And those are just so much easier to do. So yeah, that's definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it would be fun to try to turn my dad, bringing my car brain dad to the Netherlands. Yeah. There's so much chat about frickin' Elbridge. Oh yes, thank you. Congrats to the baby. Thank you. We're excited. Um, the Daily Freedom says, have you ever thought of moving to the Netherlands? Yes, I've thought about that, definitely. But my line of work wouldn't fly there. So I'm not gonna tell you where I work. I'll tell you where. So I work for a company, and they only do business here. Um, and I'm a medical trained professional. I used to be a paramedic, so that doesn't fly because my Dutch is terrible, and you probably need to know how to speak Dutch. Also, my wife works in healthcare. Same thing. Would probably need to learn how to speak Dutch, and it's just a long shot. And I don't know if that would totally fly. And also we have family here, which is something we really cherish. So that's really, really important to have. Yeah. I think we're 40 minutes in. Oh my God. All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is super rad. If you have more questions, please, I'll just hang out for a while. If you want to chat, we can do that, for sure. But as far as moving to the Netherlands, it's not in my future, I don't think. I am committed to helping change the conversation here in Canada, in North America. That's what I want to do. I'm super passionate about that. I want to see and help change what's on the ground here in Canada. So that's something I'll be doing more of in the near future, more not advocacy videos, but videos that are specific to problems here in Vancouver and the region. But also, uh, Tokiko's World says, Nick, what's next? Do we still get weekly videos after this? Yes, there are weekly videos planned for the next few months. Lots of Netherlands videos still, at least at least 4, I think, that are from the trip that are standalone videos. And one of them, again, broken record here on my Patreon within the next 24 hours. The unofficial day 12 video is one of them. So there's plenty of videos that are local and abroad. I have a video from Germany that's coming. And as far as travel for me, not much is happening in the next while. Like I said, we got a baby on the way. So that's kind of our focus. So maybe that's going to be keeping me more local. Yeah. Yeah. Trump signed an executive order for more biking infrastructure. Sarcasm. Sorry, slash S. Yeah. I think it was the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. The Gazelle video is going to be coming out soon. I'm not going to say soon, eventually. Extended version of my ride with Mark Bicycle Dutch in Den Bosch, the day 12, unofficial day 12 video, and some more deep dive videos. How I film is an idea that I have for a video. I actually filmed a lot of myself filming for the sake of maybe making that video. Uh, Also how to pack for a bike trip and stuff like that. And I have so much footage. It's insane. If you aren't subscribed to my other channel, the Bike Lane Project, I'm going to be posting tons of my stuff now since these videos are done now. A lot of stuff that wasn't in the videos. It's just raw footage, no speaking whatsoever. It's just clips of my trip and stuff that I didn't fit into the videos. And some stuff I did, but it's more it's a tool for people to use if they need footage of the Netherlands, but also it's just for some relaxing background footage you could put on your TV type of thing. So that's worth checking out. It's called the Bike Lane Project. Yeah, so check that out for sure. Yes, I will link the other channel in here. Let's see here. It's got a little picture of like a blue bicycle sign. Do, 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 do. Uh-oh. Let's see. It's at the Bike Lane Project. Here, I'll link it here. There we go. I'll pin that. Or I'll pin something else. Yeah. AJ says, oh boy, there's a bunch of new questions in here. A pan 10. Did you say which city town you would move to if you could? I didn't say that. That's a hmm. Uh Honestly, it would probably be somewhere that would be considered boring, like Almeida. Like I sure. Like I'm serious what I said in that video. Day 2, the ugliest city in the Netherlands was just not really. It's like probably Lelystad, right? But yeah, I just want to live in a nice, quiet, bland place for a little while, ish. But Utrecht is like for me is like peak. I'm just like, oh my god, it's take me there, take me to heaven. It's bicycle heaven. I love it so much. Um, Probably there, but like honestly, I'd be so happy with any smaller-ish city that's relatively boring. Yes. Almeida, I'm going. Yeah. I would do it, I swear to God. AJ says, "What kind of change would you like to see first in Vancouver after reviewing all the Netherlands footage?" Yeah, dude, okay, can I talk about this for a second? This is super frustrating. Um, when I spent better part of 2 weeks in the Netherlands, then now I've spent 3 months, almost 3 months every single day poring over the footage, thinking about it, writing scripts, trying to put these videos together. So it's in my brain every single day, and then I ride my bike to work. That contrast is really hard. And I'm telling you, like, Vancouver's a fantastic city when it comes to bike infrastructure in North America. Easily top 5, maybe top 3, maybe even top 2. I think Montreal has number 1, probably Minneapolis and Montreal fight it out for number 1. So Vancouver probably comes behind those 2. But it's the contrast between the Netherlands and riding the streets here in what's considered a good bike city, North America, is so frustrating. And the thing that's most frustrating is the culture with drivers. So I've talked about this in the videos, I bring it up relatively often, is Feet Strat, the bike street. I love bike streets because it's a place where we can share, but it's coded in a sense that says, "Hey, this is a place for people on bikes." So if you're driving, like, chill out, take it easy. But it's not just that, it's the way that they use modal filtering and traffic circulation to keep through traffic off those streets. So we have something called bike routes here, and we occasionally put in modal filters that help reduce the traffic on those through routes. But still, there is so much through traffic, especially at intersections when people are rat running. So you're like going through the bike route, and some cars just trying to rat run through the neighborhood and goes flying through those stop signs, and those cause a lot of near misses. People speeding past you on these 30-kilometer per hour bike routes, and I'm just like, make the bike routes good. Make the bike routes like Feet Strats in the Netherlands, because it wouldn't take that much. It'd be relatively affordable. Add more modal filters. Basically, my pitch is like, okay, if you have the arterial roads around a giant block of a neighborhood, and we have a grid pattern here, so usually you'll have like a cross section of bike routes through one of those big neighborhoods. Just make it so that those big blocks of arterials, if you want to get from one corner to the other of that neighborhood, you have to go around. Just like the traffic circulation plan in many of the Dutch cities, like in Groningen. Like that's what my wish is. Like, make it so that drivers cannot rat run through the neighborhoods. Makes it safe for the people who live there. Makes it safer for the people who are on the bike streets, which will encourage more people to get on their bikes. That's like my one wish. Make the bike routes good. And some of them are pretty good. Like there's one called Adenac that goes from like East Vancouver straight east all the way basically to Burnaby. A lot of that's really good. They've done a lot of good modal filtering and stuff like that. But still, yeah, it can be rough. But that's probably my biggest thing I think we could learn from the Netherlands for sure. Yeah. Did I try Broja Mario in Utrecht? No, I don't know what that is. Can I look that up? I probably should have. Oh, is this like a restaurant? It's like a snack bar? Ooh, okay. Is it like is it Dutch Italian food? Sandwiches? Oh, man. No, I'm saving it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna save this for next time. That looks good. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Hey, Nick, why do you have this profile picture on YouTube? Is there a story behind it? Yeah, it was a joke. I've been meaning to change it for ages. I don't know what to change it to. Just like a picture of me smiling with a hat on my head. I don't know. A friend of mine made it. We used to play Jackbox together, Jackbox games, which is like a party game. Use your phone, connect it to the internet, and play on the TV through your computer, basically. Kind of like Cards Against the Humanity, different types of games like that. And a friend of mine in our Discord, he edited a video, like a picture like that of my head, because their logo is like this bald guy with his head inside of a box. So that was just a joke. And when I started this channel, I just put it up as a joke, and I wasn't really posting anything seriously. And it's just there for now. I probably will change it. I've got an emote, I think. Does that work? Yeah, I'll change that at some point. But maybe it's, I don't know. Is this like copyright infringement, basically? Me having this? Because like, yeah. Anyway, crazy dude. Thanks for the tip. Great series. Compliments to the editing, especially. Ever planning on another trip you haven't seen, like more of Zealand or south of Limburg? Yes. I would like to go back to Zealand for sure. On a bike. It's the only province I haven't rid a bike in. I drove there exclusively and walked, but yeah, I didn't ride a bike there. So yeah, that's definitely a place I need to explore a bit more. I would love to go back for that bike race that happens on the Oster. Oh God, the dam slash sluices that are like in Zeeland, which is like they wait for the windiest day, and it's insanely difficult to bike. They've got gusts coming in. It's just like, I don't know. It's like a what 5-10 kilometer bike ride or something, but you're into the wind, and it's like, yeah, it's like 60 times harder than it would be if it was just like a calm day, which would be fun to go check that out. Absolutely. Replace all the intersections on the grid with roundabouts. Yes, we're talking about the local bike routes. That is possible. We have these things like a pseudo roundabouts in Vancouver in some of our neighborhoods. Um, it's limited studies, but one study showed that they actually took risk away from drivers and put it on to cyclists and pedestrians in those neighborhoods. There's not a lot of room to build like a proper roundabout, so that's a problem. So I've had mixed experiences on them. I've had close calls on them for sure. Drivers trying to fly through there because they're really small and you can kind of get away with not. They need more traffic calming. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. um, if you can, if you can use the logo from the closing screen as the thumb, yeah, it's a bit small. So my sister actually made that. She's a graphic designer and she owns a sewing business in London, Ontario, Canada, fake London. She does sewing classes and makes things for people, but she also does graphic design. So she made that actually, that logo, my Nick the Door logo, which I was super pleased that she did that. She's in Japan right now with her husband. They just got married a few months ago, they're on their honeymoon. I'm super jealous, but uh, so the Super Apple Flap says Limburg is the best place for cycling, but you should get a racing bike. Easier going uphill. Yeah. I haven't ridden a racing bike, like a road bike, for a long, long time. And I want to do it just for the sake of it, just to experience it again, because I know how much better, how much lighter it is, how much less rolling resistance. You can really get some speed and it makes for, yeah, Ooster Schelde Kering. Yeah. That's the dike in Zeeland. I drove over it a couple times. I did not bike over it though. Yeah. The Techin Wind Fietsen. Is that good, guys? Tegen Wind Fietsen is the race across the Oster Sheldon Kering. Oh, the thing about the Dutch is so hard is so many of the words are like together without spaces, and it just makes for a giant word that is looks harder to read than it probably is. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you're talking about the roundabouts again. The roundabouts aren't actually roundabouts. They're pseudo roundabouts. They're just like small traffic circles essentially with like some plants in them. They're not proper roundabouts. And there wouldn't be enough for a proper roundabout with like actual like signalized intersections where cyclists have a priority around the ring or stuff like that. Those do exist in a few places in North America. I don't know if we have any in Canada. There's roundabouts here in Vancouver, but none that are like cycling Dutch roundabouts. No, protected intersections are becoming more common though, which is great. Yeah. Yeah, Corne, I'm a bit late to the stream. Have you already reacted to all the comments in your post? Yes, I did react to the comments in my post already. I think this is gonna be watchable after the fact. I can't believe we've been sitting here for almost an hour. So you can go back and watch that if you want to. By the way, anybody new here, go to my Patreon. You can watch the unofficial Day 12 for free within the next 24 hours. It will be live. Just get subscribed for free or pay me if you want. Give me some shekels. That'd be sweet. Helps me do these trips again. I would love to do something like this again. But it will be available. I had fun making it. It's a concise, short video, and I spirited Tom Scott. Maybe I made it so I could like, please, Tom, come back to YouTube. I love your videos so much. I just made a video in his style in Limburg. So I like totally was like just trying like, okay, how does Tom Scott make his video? How does he start? What kind of shots does he do? Does he use music or not? I changed a bit. I think I added some music, but go check that out. uh Against wind cycling. That's it. That's what Tegenwind Fietsen means. Okay. uh oh no. Oh, is this a list of places? If you ever want to go back to North Holland, some towns to go to are Alkmaar, here go here he oh god. See this is it guys. Heergewaard, Speerdijk, Broek op, Langendijk, and Hoorn. Yeah, there's so many places I need to get to. It's like it's endless. You could go everywhere. There's so many more places to explore. It's going to happen again at some point. Obviously, it just has to. I really look forward to that. Uh, yeah, it's endless. And if you hear from any content creators ever, people will ask them, "Hey, do you run out of ideas? Do you ever worry about running out of ideas?" No, we don't worry about that, guys. Never. Never. You know what you worry about? Having too many. Okay? Every video you make, 2 more ideas go in the bin every time. It just keeps growing. The list doesn't stop. I think I have like 100 uh like started Google documents of like, here's an idea with like a couple sentences like that's an idea. We'll keep that for later. Yeah. Uh Bicycle Dutch says cycling is good all over the Netherlands and most cities have a historic heart. Yeah, it is. And that's totally what I found going around. And that's maybe that's the one thing I didn't elaborate on at the end of my last video when I said that like the thing I found around cycling in the Netherlands is like it's all the same. It's good cycling almost everywhere. It was so rare that I found something that I was like, this isn't great design. Like in Snake, that one left turn, which is just very old cycling infrastructure that you would see in North America easily or worse. Or cycling in I think it was Overijssel, the some of the rural roads that were like 60K that were part of the Fietskanoop um, node network, and yeah, but it's so rare. But as far as the cities go, the historic centers, like everywhere, it's so nice. So nice. Even I've mentioned it last year, Rotterdam. I loved Rotterdam because it had a nice cozy feel, but it had a modern vibe to it with these giant glass buildings that looked very familiar to Vancouver, which I also enjoyed. And it's the street life itself that I think makes so many of these cities so wonderful. They're lively, they're lived in, they're livable cities. People are there enjoying the space, and that's makes all the difference. And that's like maybe another thing I would love to bring over here to Vancouver is just one pedestrian street, like pedestrianize one street. Like we have Water Street, which is Gastown. It's like the old historic center of Vancouver, very touristy. That's where like the steam clock that they made in like the 80s is. Um, and they pedestrianized it last summer for like 2 months, but now it's only in the summer on Sundays that they close it to cars. And it's like nobody's driving through here. Like there's one parking garage. It's all people just walking through. It's so silly. Like there's a few corridors in Vancouver we could just pedestrianize and make way better, but we don't have the right council for it right now. Hoping in the next election we can swing that the other way. Yeah. So FYI, within city limits, the newest design standard is to get rid of all 50 kilometer per hour shared roads and make them either 30 shared roads or 60 kilometer per hour with separated bike lanes. Yeah, that's a great idea. So the only place you will have 60 kilometer per hour roads, shared roads, in a few years is rural areas with light traffic. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally great. We actually passed something here in Vancouver just about 6 months ago to make all the local streets, all of them 30 kilometers per hour, which is fantastic. They haven't really implemented anything yet, and that's been a problem with this. This is the biggest problem with our current council in Vancouver is they'll either have a great plan come tabled, but they'll be like, "We'll do more studies," or something will get passed and nothing will get done, and that's been the problem. Do you think listening to music on the bike or cycling distracted, like with cell phone slash camera, is dangerous? Do you bike distracted in Canada? Yeah. I mean, I rode around illegally for most of my trip with my camera in my hand because um, there's no, the only good way to get that cycling footage on the bike is to have another person like driving the bike and be like on a cargo bike and someone else filming. So that was the risk I took. I never had any crashes or any even close calls or anything. Um, and that's the one thing I'm like, is this unethical? I know I'm breaking the law, and I always felt weird about it. And that's probably why I didn't try not to show myself doing it so much. Because anytime I did, I got a ton of comments about that. So I did feel weird about that. Yeah, I think it's good to not drive distracted with a phone in your hand or filming, even though I did it. As far as listening to music, I usually use these headphones, which have pass through, so I can hear everything that's going around. And I listen to music while I was riding sometimes, usually podcasts. I don't think it's a great idea to listen to music. Bone induction headphones are usually the best, so you can hear your surroundings. And I don't want to get into this diatribe of like whataboutism when it comes to drivers who are in like basically concealed boxes that are soundproof, listening to blasting music to themselves. But it's about your own safety. That's what it's about. being able to hear what's coming around you when you're on a bike, you're the vulnerable one, and it's good for your own safety to be aware of what's going on, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. €150 fine for, yeah, holding a phone or a camera while you're riding a bike. Let's see what else is in here. Oh my god, I need like I need someone to manage this to, like, be like, "Okay, this is the next one." So I'm not sitting here just trying to read them. Um, Ingrid Groot says, "How can you cycle with so little luggage? Whenever I'm on a bike holiday, I have lots more with me. So how do you do that?" I just was very efficient. Like I literally, I think I had 4 t-shirts, 1 long sleeve shirt, I had a rain jacket, I had rain pants, I had a pair of jeans, and I had 2 pairs of shorts, and then socks and underwear. And that's it. And I tried to wash anytime I had a chance to wash anything, I washed it so that I would have as much fresh, clean clothes as possible. And as far as camera gear, I didn't bring any big stuff like this. I don't know if you hear me, sorry. I would love I would love to bring this camera with me everywhere I go. It gets fantastic shots, but this is something I leave behind. It's too heavy, it's too cumbersome, um, and it's so much easier to have like a DJI pocket that you can literally take it out of your pocket and just flip the screen open and click record, and you're recording with relatively great footage. Like most of my footage is from that DJI pocket, and it looks fantastic. It's so good. The only problem is it's not waterproof, and it was raining. I had to use my GoPro, which looks not great in comparison. But yeah, cycling with little luggage is just being efficient with it and being uncomfortable at times. For example, I wore my Vessies, which are like waterproof shoes. They suck. They're great for waterproofing, but now you have shoes that are not breathable on a hot day, and your feet sweat to high heavens. It's not great. Yeah. Um, Chesterfield says, I have some friends in Guelph, Ontario. They pedestrianized some parts of the city center during COVID to fit outdoor seating. Most of it is converted back. Such a shame. Yeah, it's so terrible. So during the pandemic, so many cities across North America, I'm sure in Europe too, transform parts of their cities. One thing that we got was a beautiful bike lane on Beach Avenue that faces the Burrard Inlet in Vancouver. It's still there today. It is one of the most used bike lanes now in the city. It's fantastic. But another one was a bike lane around Stanley Park, not the seawall that's by the water, but through the park on the road, separated lane that got taken out by the current government. That was one of the big stinks. One of the reasons why people started protesting against our city council when it came to bike infrastructure again. And it is too bad. Like getting rid of your outdoor seating in the pedestrianized area is just such a shame. Like it seems like a no-brainer in a lot of ways. Super Apple Flap says, how do you pronounce Guelph? Like Guelph. I wonder how somebody who doesn't speak English might try to pronounce that. Right? Here we go. Takanashi Yuji says, love the series. When are you coming back to the Netherlands? Maybe next year. And if I do, it'll be short. It'll be a short visit. It'll be a short visit. But next year, maybe. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on our family situation. It depends on how well the YouTube channel is doing, and can I justify taking that expense and doing it, or if I can marry it with a trip of visiting our friends in Germany who we're very close with. So, yeah, it'd be something like that. But yeah, something like a short one. Martin Webb Nature says, I saw you have an Instagram page too. I follow. Thank you. Yeah, I do have an Instagram page. I don't post very often. I would like to post more stuff, but again, the jack of all trades, master of none thing is I'm trying to follow that. Like, don't half-ass things, just full ass one thing. And I'm trying to do that with the YouTube channel right now. Full ass the YouTube channel, make it good. And with all of the wonderful things people have said about it, I think it's going in that direction. So I really appreciate that. And I want to continue making good videos, having fun with it, but yeah, working hard to make sure the product is good in the end. Louise says, would you like to continue exploring the Netherlands by bike in the future, or perhaps discover other bike-friendly regions? For example, Denmark and southern Sweden. Yeah, I would love to explore other places. My original plan for this trip was to go to Copenhagen afterwards, but I just didn't have the time, unfortunately. It was too tight for me to visit my friends in Germany and go to Copenhagen. It wouldn't have worked out. So Copenhagen's at the tippy top of my list for cycling in Europe. Last year I filmed tons of stuff in London, England, and Paris, but I never made any videos of that. It was it wasn't guided. I was just like aimlessly filming stuff. So to make a video from those, I would have to go in and see what I have and see if I can make something out of it. But ideally, I could go back with somebody, meeting up with somebody who's in the know to get the local experience and knowledge on camera to make a video out of. But yeah, Denmark, Copenhagen's at the top of my list right now for sure. Absolutely. I can't wait to go there. And I like I would love to see how it compares to the Netherlands, because Copenhagenize the book and the organization has really tried to sell it. And some people think that they're overselling it, overselling Copenhagen and its success compared to the Netherlands. I don't know if that's true. I haven't been there, but I want to see for myself. Thomas says, was there anything you missed from Canada during your time in the Netherlands? Yeah, my wife. But other things, like when you're so engrossed in the culture on your vacation or your trip, no, not that much. Not really. I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. Oh, sorry. I don't want to piss anybody off. I got one. A good pint. And I don't know if this has been my experience, but every time I got a pint, it was just like half head, half beer. They would just like, maybe that's just how you pour it there. That's fine. But we have like pretty fantastic beer culture here in Vancouver. It's not like in Europe, it's a different type of beer culture, very local, new brewed stuff. And I really like it a lot. And the beer experience I had in the Netherlands wasn't great. The wine experience I had was great. It wasn't Dutch wine. I think it was mostly French wine I had, but it was very good. uh, but yeah, like when you're in somewhere like that, only for a few weeks, it's hard to miss anything too much from Canada. Yeah. uh, Lucas K, why don't they try raised intersections in Vancouver? It's something that uh, advocacy groups have been pushing for sure. I think it's a great idea. It's one thing I would love to see in some of these bike routes we have throughout the city. There are some in Victoria, BC. I think so. I think so. I'm trying to think. I was there just a few weeks ago, but now I can't remember. They had tons of raised crosswalks. Nanaimo has plenty of continuous and continuous sidewalks and bike lanes. Raised intersections are few and far between. They exist in a few places in North America, but I'm blanking right now on where they exist. As far as Vancouver, I don't think so. We have a few raised crosswalks, continuous sidewalks, very rare, and I would argue don't exist at all in Vancouver yet, which is very sad. Even at like back alleys, it'll be just like you're on the sidewalk, you have to go down into the street to cross a back alley. It's like, come on, what are we doing here? Let's move into the 21st century. Yeah. Gem. You coming from BC, what is your perspective of cycling infrastructure in some of those more mountainous rural areas of the province? It's not good. In most places, it's not good. I've haven't cycled in a lot of them, and that's the reason why. I'm not like a risk taker. I'm not part of that 1% fearless cyclists. I'm probably in the second group, the confident group. And if there's no, like, I'm not riding on a street where if there's cars going 60 or above, I'm not going to have a good time. I'm getting out of there. I don't want to do it. And that's what it is in a lot of places. So my wife and I went to Main Island, which is one of the Gulf Islands on your way to Victoria. If you take a ferry, and we spent a weekend there, and it was nice. We just took our bikes on the ferry. We, packed our stuff in our panniers and went to a hotel there. And there was a shared path on one street only. And the rest of it's like country roads, but most people were driving like 50. So it was fine. It was rideable, but most places I've been to don't really have cycling infrastructure that I've been to that's outside of major metros. And even once you get out of this area, the Vancouver metro area, it's not great in most cities. That's been my experience, at least. Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for watching. Thanks for showing up. The Super Apple Flap says Copenhagen is nice for bike lanes compared to pretty much everywhere in the world except the Netherlands. Shots fired. Uh, Martin Web Nature says, "Did you see? Oh, Bruges, uh, Belgium by bike. I noticed it's pedestrian friendly, made last year. Totally changed. No, I've only been to Belgium. I went to Belgium in the day 12 video. Again, it's going to be on Patreon in the next 24 hours. Technically, I went to Belgium. Uh, when my wife and I first went to Europe back in 2016 was our first trip. We stopped only in Belgium for like a train changeover for a couple hours and had some food at a restaurant. I haven't actually spent a lot of time in Belgium, and I'd like to. So I've seen they've done a lot of great work, uh, like the cycling. Is it the cycling congress or congress? I don't know. There was a cycling big conference. I think it was in Ghent last year. I would have liked to go, but I couldn't make it. Yeah, but they're doing great things. Well, when in the Netherlands, you should probably try the Belgian beers. Yeah, the Belgians do great beer. Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. So, Giraffe 52 says there are a few raised intersections in suburban Surrey. Yeah, I believe that. Panorama Ridge, surprisingly. Is that like a street in Surrey, or are we talking about like Panorama Ridge, like out in Garibaldi, like the mountain range? Yeah. Belgians are doing a good job at improving their infrastructure. Well, in Flanders, the roads have less potholes nowadays, and they are putting in bike lanes. Yeah. Thank you, Abtul. Love from Canada. All right, I got time for two more questions, then I got to head out. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is so cool. I was like, maybe a couple people will show up. This is wild. I feel like we're gonna end up here all day or all night for you guys. Like I woke up, rolled out of bed, made breakfast. Haven't even drank all my coffee yet, um, and then hopped on. Um, yeah. When you're in Groningen, this is from Johan. Oh boy, Gilstra. Sorry, Johan. When you were in Groningen, did you get a chance to see the old ring road compared to the park it is now? No, I did not. No, and that's the one thing I wish I explored a bit more. Are you talking about the northern park, right? The Noorderplantsoen? I didn't, and that's the one thing. Like I went through. I sat in it for a while and just kind of chilled the next morning after I met up with Core. But I should have. And there's always more. There's always more things to see and explore and investigate and research. And you just have to leave some things behind for next time. But that's the thing. And I've said it many times. It's like, okay, it's just another reason to go back. So I have those opportunities to go back to the Netherlands. There's always more content to me. There's more things to explore. There's more things to learn. And I appreciate that. Everybody who's watched this, so many people have left so many comments. I've learned so much from the comments. Corrections have been made. Sometimes they make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I do my best to get it right, but it doesn't always happen. So I appreciate all the comments of people correcting me or tipping me off to different things to check out, which is really awesome. Oh, the Southern Plantsoon where they buried the road. No, I didn't. Oh, oh wait, are we talking about the one that I went and actually visited with Core first? Oh yeah, no. I've seen photos, but that's it. That's it. I love asking Canadian silly questions. Takanashi Yuji says, "Any foods that surprised you in the Netherlands?" There's okay, maybe you guys can figure out what this is. I'm trying to explain it. There's a fried food that you often find at
grocery stores or at Fabo, um, snack bars. It's like sausage shaped, but it's like breaded, and it has like something inside of it that resembles meat. I don't know what it is, like a mincemeat or something. I don't know. It's like it, the word looks to me when I see it like, yeah, croquette. Yeah, that's it, I think. That surprised me. I didn't expect when I bit into it what it actually was, which is a deep fried snack consisting of a thick meat ragu rolled into an oblong shape, breaded, and then deep fried until golden brown. Yeah. I didn't know what it was going to be. I was like, well, try it. We'll see what this is. And it was surprising. It was pretty good. Yeah. It was actually the one I had was at Fabo and it was not very hot, which was disappointing. Yeah. Uh, we got a few more here in our questions in here. I'll get through it. Okay, how's the reverse culture shock? Yeah, you're back to sure they can bike in Holland, but this is Canada. Yeah, that's for real. I talked about that earlier in the stream. Coming back here and watching my videos that I've taken, reliving my experiences, and then going out to bike to work every day is tough. As far as the climate goes here in Vancouver, it's we don't have the wind, but we have the hills. But as far as the temperatures goes, it's almost the same. Like we have the same climate here in Vancouver as we do in the Netherlands. In the summer, it's nice. Doesn't it never got above 30 in Vancouver. Not once this whole summer. It stays in the 20s. In the winter, it might get below zero, but you might get a week or two of snow and ice, maybe. Other than that, it's cold and rainy. And if we don't have the wind, we have the hills instead. I think if we build the infrastructure here, especially when it comes to electric mobility, we have a chance to really go hard. And like we've already gone pretty hard. There's a impressive modal share as far as Canada goes. Some people estimate it's above 10% on two wheels, which is like not when you look at the Netherlands, that's like, come on, bro. Pump those numbers up. Rookie numbers. Like you've got some cities with like approaching like above 60% in Groningen. They've measured sometimes, but like what's the average? It's like 28% of all trips on bikes in the Netherlands. So that 10% in Vancouver compared to the average in North America, which is like between 1 and 2%. So we're like well above that, but we could really go much harder, I think. Absolutely. uh Yannick Tinbergen says, so these trips don't get you extra confident to cycle everywhere. I wonder if it is a Dutch thing to go cycle in places, even if infrastructure is pretty terrible. Maybe a little bit, but honestly, I've so like I mentioned earlier, I used to work as a paramedic. I've seen road violence firsthand. Um, I don't want to be that guy on the road who got hit by a car. There was our first trip to the this is really sad. Our first trip to the island when we moved to Vancouver from Eastern Canada like 8 years ago. We were going to Tofino, which is on the coast of Vancouver Island. And we were like an hour in and we just saw, oh, there's somebody on the side of the road laying there and a guy standing near him. The guy was hit by a car. He was riding a dirt bike, but nonetheless the same outcome. And we did CPR. We did the whole thing. He was gone. It was really it sucks. It's really sad. This guy died, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want my wife to experience that. My family, my friends to be like, I don't want to be the martyr. If I do get killed by a car on my bike, politicize the shit out of it. Let's go. But I don't want to end up in that place. So I try to not put myself in positions that have that risk. I'm not interested in anymore. When I was younger, I would do lots of stupid stuff on my bike and ride around places that I probably shouldn't have. So no, I don't know. I maybe I feel a bit more confident, but I I'm interested in having safe places to cycle for my safety and other people's safety. And I think that's why I want to go to Japan because I feel like it's relatively safe compared to North America and other places. Not the Netherlands, but yeah. Here in the Netherlands, temps go up to 40 in the summer nowadays. Climate change is wreaking havoc. Indeed, it's a shame we aren't tackling it more aggressively. Cohen K, why was your wife not with you for your trip? How did she feel about you going to the Netherlands to cycle? No, she wasn't. We just had different vacation schedules, and it didn't work out where she could actually come with me. And I talked about this earlier in the stream, but it's not fun being with somebody when they're filming if you're not part of it, because you just have to like, oh, okay, we have to stop and just wait around for Nick to do his thing. It's not fun to be a party to that unless you're helping film, which is not the style that I currently do. I might do that in the future where somebody can help me film, actually point the camera at me, but it's just not what I do. So that's why. But we're both relatively independent people. We both go on trips alone relatively frequently or with other friends and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. I've done it a few times already. I think when we first started dating, were only dating for like 4 months. She went to South America and hiked through to Machu Picchu from like Lima, uh, Peru. Is that where it is? Yeah. And then like a month later, I was in Japan for a solo trip for my first overseas trip. That was in 2015. So like where we started our relationship with doing trips alone apart from each other. So it just seems so normal for us. Cohen K, do you feel like becoming a cycling advocate? I remember you defending fake land. Yeah, this is kind of part of what it is. This is my approach at advocacy. I'm hoping to get closer to Vision Zero Vancouver and partnering with them to make videos. However that looks, I'm not sure yet. I go to their meetings once in a while. I've helped them. Maybe you know the brick campaign or the brick video. It's like a joke video about, hey, you want to cross the road? Grab a brick. And it's like a tongue-in-cheek April Fool's joke. Basically, you need a brick to cross the street so drivers don't run you over. So they'll stop because they're worried about getting their car smashed or something like that. If it went super viral. Anyway, I filmed all of that. They asked me to help. I was like, sure, yeah. So I filmed it all. I put together a short that was like, okay. But Yute Lee, the master that he is about here on YouTube, fantastic. He's an urban planner, but makes amazing videos. He took all the footage and put together an incredible short, and that's the one that went viral, the brick video. So I am associated with Vision Zero. I actually volunteered for them last week at a car-free day on Main Street at the booth, and I'm hoping that I can work together with them to make videos on my channel in partnership with them to do more advocacy stuff for sure. Cool. Oh, Coevorden. So is Coevorden not a little bit disappointing small? Yeah, Coevorden, it was a town I passed through. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't particularly impressive, but I didn't spend any time in it. I just passed through. So I feel like I'm speaking out of turn because I didn't experience it. Takanashi Yuji says, tip for pronouncing Dutch words, even names, etc. Google Translate has a speech button. Yes, that's what I've done for a lot of it. That's how I got the Zanzischans. And then you do the English one, and it was like Zans Shans. I thought it was like the contrast was really funny. Ray B72 says, hi, Nick. Loved your previous. Oh, no, it skipped here. I lost it. Love your previous series, and this one even more. Maybe for your next trip, you can stay at Dutch family homes. I'm pretty sure plenty of Dutch people will grant you a roof over your head. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I'd be worried sometimes. You never know getting to strangers' houses, but I'm sure it'd be awesome most of the time. Yeah. Yannick Tinberg says, I then wonder if Dutch have a higher bike fatality rate abroad because they are overconfident. Maybe. Or maybe they have lower fatality rate because we're better cyclists and recognize dangerous situations. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So when you think about this is like military stuff and my kind of interest in military history, especially around World War II, is that the stories you always hear is that it's the green people, the new soldiers, who are the ones who are most likely to be killed in action. And it's because the veterans knew how to hide. They knew how to find every tiny crevice in the ground, just like a tiny 6-inch like divot in the ground, and be able to morph their body into those holes to not get killed and injured. And I think that's a lot of it is the experience, defensive cycling, right? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. I know I said it already, but I'm gonna two more questions and then I gotta bail out of here. This is crazy. I can't believe I've been on for an hour and a half. This is wild. Uh, let's see. Any more questions in here? I'm reading them here, so if you wanna pump it in there, the next 2, get the take. Never underestimate an old soldier. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. We got a question here. This is from, Mary? Mary? That's a cool spelling. Have you ever been inside of a windmill? Can recommend it. It's cool. No, I haven't. I actually haven't. I would love to go inside of one. I was wondering what was inside of one. A lot of my videos have stock footage that I get from a website that I pay for annually. There was a bunch of clips in there. A lot of it was from Zanzischans, which I got some really cool. There was like a morning shot with a fog over Zanzischans. So cool. But I was looking for an interior shot on there, but I didn't see any. Yeah. Any more questions? Any more questions, guys? We're gonna dip out here in a minute. If you got anything, please send it my way. I will answer it just for you. And look at there we go. That's some emotes. That's for you guys. Eat it up. Here's some bach feets. There. What's my age? I am the year of the horse, 1990. You can math that out. Uh, do you think the scale of Canada is an issue when developing bike infrastructure? In a sense, yes, but mostly no. The argument people often have when it comes to bike infrastructure is they'll be like, so it's talking about the United States. People be like, "Oh, US is too big to do bikes." Like, what, are you gonna bike from New York to LA? No, no, you're gonna fly or maybe take a bullet train. Like, what are we talking about here? And the comparison I like to bring up is most regions. So, New York. So the New York Metro, the greater New York area, this is part of New Jersey, right? And stuff like that, has a higher population and higher population density than the Netherlands. But people still argue, oh, but the US is too big. It's like, well, who cares? Just you're biking around New York City, like Manhattan. Like what? Like we're just talking about going to work or dropping the kid off at daycare in a densely populated area. So no, I don't think necessarily it is, but the problem that arises is when cities like London, Ontario, where I'm from originally, keep expanding the growth boundaries because there's so much space to take over. And this could happen in the Netherlands too, but when they do that, they explicitly these expansion boundaries in the Netherlands, they explicitly make them livable so that even in that boundary, for the most part, you can get everything you need inside the boundary. They'll have grocery stores and cafes and things all there. We don't do that here. So one of the good examples in London, Ontario, is on the northern border, north of Fanshawe. They recently expanded and they just built a swath of suburban single family homes, and they do the towers with the giant parking lots too. But where's the amenities? There's no amenities there, and that's the biggest problem. They just keep sprawling, and it's the sprawl, the availability to sprawl is the problem. It's not insurmountable, but it is a lot harder, right? And it's like trying to compare a relatively less dense place like London compared to Groningen. And the success of Groningen, a lot of that is born out of it being a fortress city, being extremely dense from the start, and having that opportunity to change. So it is a barrier, but it's not insurmountable. It just takes a bit more time, I think. Yeah. Do you have YouTube membership? I don't know if it's actually open yet. I don't know how I feel about it. Um, for multiple reasons, mainly because again, I feel like it's going to add more work to each video or thing I do. I already have the Patreon, and that's extra work, and that's stuff I actually do post in. Occasionally, I'm gonna be posting some extra footage and stuff on there on my Patreon. Again, this is like the 6th time I said it. Day 12 official video will be for free on Patreon. You can go subscribe to my Patreon for free within the next 24 hours, and you'll be able to see that. It'll be on YouTube in the next few weeks, but if you wanna see it early, it'll be there. Yeah. One more question, and then I got a boogie. If I miss any of these, I am so sorry. In Canada, 90% of the people live in the border area, and that's then concentrated in a few cities. Those are densely populated as the Netherlands. Yeah, like Vancouver is a great example of like we have hard borders. We have the ocean on some sides, Then we have Burnaby on another side. There's nowhere we can expand to. So we continue to increase the density. There's nowhere we can go. We're not reclaiming the ocean. Like that's not going to happen for us. So it's only going to be more people in Vancouver. We need to start looking at making our transit better and better cycling infrastructure. And we are slowly, but in my opinion, could happen a lot faster. One question here. Thanks. Oh yeah, Martin, thanks for showing up. Thank you so much for everybody who watched the series, who are here, the live stream. I really, really do appreciate it. Like I can't even like every time I post a video, I'm like, this is stupid. I'm such like, who wants to watch this moron? And it's crazy. It blows me away every time. So thank you so much. We got one more question here. This is from Lifeless Nerd. Can you talk a little about how you filmed all your drone footage? All your biking stuff too. So I'm going to make it a whole dedicated video. This is one of the extra videos that's going to be coming out from the trip. It's about how I film my bike trips. And I'll talk about right now, I'll talk about the drone. So I have I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere in here somewhere. It's hanging out. I got a DJI Mini 4 Pro, which I bought like a year and a bit ago. It's fantastic. It's so small. In the Netherlands, in Europe, you need a license, and I have a code on it that's like part of the European Union code. So that it links back to me and my name, and I have a license for it. You don't need that in Canada. It's under 250 grams. So I have a license for it. And I use an app that shows where it's permitted or not to fly. And I was hard on using that every time I flew. I never once flew in a restricted area. So there's a lot of times it's like, oh, I would love to get a drone footage. Use usually city centers like Groningen. I wanted to get drone footage. Thankfully, there was some stock footage. Whether someone got a permit or not to get that footage, I don't know, but I used that footage. But it's a lot of fun using the drone because you get a different perspective of the surrounding area, especially the Afsluitdijk. That was like when I saw it on my drone and I was just like there, I was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. It looks so good. And that was one where the borders, you were allowed to fly over top of the dike, but you could not fly on either side of like the Waddenzee or the IJsselmeer. You couldn't fly over the water, those were the borders. So I just flew it straight over the dike as much as I could. I tried not to go over those borders. So that was the one place where I got close to borders. Also, North Groningen, when I was looking at the bridge in the north, that was the border of where you could fly. That was like the only two times I think I got close to flying borders. But the one thing that I learned about, I wish I could show you. You can see it in some of the footage. If you see me riding my bike with the drones following me, you can just like circle yourself on the remote and it'll just be like recognize you and it'll follow you. It does it pretty well. But I've taped or stuck basically a GoPro mount on the back of it. And I have a bunch of weird other random GoPro parts that hook up to my bike so that I can put the remote on the bike and just ride away and it'll just follow me, which is really cool. Yeah, you can get in serious trouble if you don't respect the airspace. Yeah. Like you can get serious fines, really big fines. Yeah, so I stuck to those. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been absolutely incredible. It was an incredible journey. I'm like actually like when I was writing the script and doing this last video, it was kind of sad. I was also excited. Like, I can't believe I actually went through all this and made all these videos. There's 12 videos, 11 days. But it was a little sad. But it's just on to the next one, right? But there's going to be a few more videos coming out. Day 12, unofficial, on my Patreon for free. Within the next 24 hours, it'll be posted. You can go check it out there for free. And there'll be more videos from the trip, one from Germany, several from the Netherlands, and some more local stuff that we've already filmed that'll be coming up in the next few weeks, which I'm really stoked for. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming to my live stream. And now I get to figure out how to turn this thing off. See you later. Thank you, Bill.